Hi, everyone, and welcome back to day 17 of My Kids Think I'm Cool But podcast holiday special. For 25 days, I will be interviewing an international living abroad, and we will be talking about how they celebrate Christmas back in their home country and how they celebrate Christmas in the new country they're living in now. It could be in the US, it could be in Denmark, where I'm at currently, it could be in Portugal, it could be anywhere in the world except their home country. And today I have Madhura Sane from India, and she is living in the US with her family, her husband, and her two kids. Welcome, Madhura, and thank you for being on this podcast holiday special with me.
Thank you so much. It's really pleasure to be on your podcast, and I really love talking about this subject, like especially the celebration, festivals, and kids. These are my favorite topics, so I'm really glad to be on this show today.
Yeah, perfect. This is the perfect podcast for you because it's about children and a holiday.
Right.
Before we get started on the holiday special, could you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So to those who don't know me, I'm Madhura. I'm basically from a small town in Western India. I've been born and brought up in India. I lived in India till I was 27 years old, and then we moved to US for job. Both me and my husband, we were born and brought up in India. I have two little ones. My son is born in India, and we came here when he was just 7 months old. And he is 8 years old now, and I have a small daughter. She is three now. She is born here. So we are raising a family away from our own family, but still trying to make this country as our friends and family. We are making them as our family. So this is a journey, and I'm thoroughly enjoying this.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you for sharing your journey in the US and how you got there. And we are also talking about a full episode. So, this is just a small clip of the holiday special, and I will be having her on a full episode on about her journey to the US and her background in India. So, I'm looking forward to that episode with you.
Yeah, thank you so much. That would be definitely a long conversation, and I would absolutely love to have that with you.
It's a 1 hour episode, so
Oh,
we
I
can
love to
definitely
talk.
fill
You
that.
will, yeah, I love to talk. So you will understand that when I start speaking, because that's one of my passions. I love writing and I love speaking. So definitely I'll enjoy that conversation.
Perfect. You're going to be my perfect guest then. Well, let's get into the holiday spirit since we are
Sure.
talking about Christmas and just in general the holidays. How do you celebrate Christmas in India?
Frankly, as I was telling you, I was born in a small town in Western India. I had just always had one day of holiday, only on 25th of December. So we knew about, like, I knew about Christmas when I was young, when I was a little girl, but I frankly didn't know much about it, not the entire full spectrum of information that we have right now. I didn't know about it. I knew that it is a celebration of life. Why do you celebrate that? All those things, but we never celebrated it in the way, the grand scale that we celebrate here, right, in US. But as I was growing up, as I completed my education, I moved to a bigger city in India for job. Then I realized what a grand scale that Christmas is, and what it actually holds, right? It is a celebration to be with your family. It is a celebration of life. It is a celebration of being with your loved ones. It is a season of gifting. It is a season of giving. So all those things I realized as I grew up, and I saw more world. That time I really realized all the aspects of Christmas. And I still remember when I was working in a company. It was my first job. I was working in a software industry for a company called IBM.
Hmm.
And that time we used to have a big celebration in the company cafeteria where they used to put up a big Christmas tree. We used to see all those gifts. We used to play Secret Santa. Sometimes it's called White Elephant if you have to exchange the gifts. So we used to play that. We used to have a lot of programs for that. And one particular memory I do have is we used to have the bring your kids to office day. I didn't have kids that time, but I still remember enthusiastically packing all the gifts, and like we used to pick one gift and give it to a random kid, like whoever it was in the office that day. So it was like a celebration. The entire environment was filled with, a lot of joy, and it was the spirit of Christmas. So I really enjoyed that time. And from that time onwards, whenever I think of Christmas, I think of lights, I think of joy, and I think of it is a season of giving. So I absolutely love this season, especially when there is a white Christmas like we might have this year. Like right now, it is a huge snowstorm going on in New Jersey. So it is like, I hope we'll have a white Christmas, and that is a cozy season, cozy winter, and I love that celebration absolutely.
So you never really celebrated Christmas with your family until later on in life, until
Yes,
you just
yes,
basically in your work it kind of
yes,
introduced you to it. Is that
right,
when you fell
correct.
in love with it and say, "Oh my gosh,
Yes.
this is where I'm gonna celebrate this"?
Yes, this was like, it was magical. Like, I know I hear this word so many times now, especially these days, but I still remember that feeling. The first time I saw that huge Christmas tree being put up in office cafeteria, and all the lights were sparkling, and it was magical. I just have no other word for
Yeah.
that. And I absolutely love reading books. So after that, I read so much about Christmas, like why it is celebrated, what is the importance of the days, what is the importance of that particular day, all those things. I think books are the best way to understand any culture if you're not familiar with that particular culture, because you're not born in that culture, right? If it is
Mm,
not celebrated in your family, it's not your fault that you don't know those things.
yeah.
That's why we have books. Even my kids, we read lot of books about all the festivals, not just Christmas, and not just the ones that we celebrate as Indians. We read books about all the things in the world, and that brings so much joy to us.
How was your first when you decided to say, "Oh, I'm going to celebrate Christmas"? How was your first Christmas? How did you celebrate? Did you get a tree in your house? Did you get a stocking? How did you first celebrate your first official Christmas that you said that
Yes,
you were like, "I'm going to celebrate this"?
I still remember. I think the first elaborate Christmas that we celebrated was when we came here in US. The first Christmas is still blur to me because my son was too small. I was still adjusting to the life here. But I still remember when my son was around 2 years old, he absolutely loved trains. He loved trains so much that we used to just go and sit on a train station on the Sundays just to watch the trains. We never get on
Mhm.
any train. He loved that. So I still remember that Christmas morning, we decided to surprise him. We like he didn't know what exactly we are going to do, so we just told him that you know what, we are going for a shopping, and he absolutely hates shopping. So he was so upset, like, I don't want to go shopping and all. So we just drive from our car, and we went to a train station. So he said, no, we are not going to shopping. I know we are sitting on a train station. No, we are just coming here just to do some work. So let's get down, let's just go on a platform for a few minutes and we'll come back. We went there, and then we sat there. So he thought it's a routine. We'll just watch a couple of trains and we'll go back. But we stayed there like two, three, four trains passed, and then there came an SLR, the fastest train, and he was like, "Oh my God, I can see SLR." He was so happy to see even that, because it's not a frequent train that you see, right? The SLR train, and it stopped for a few minutes, and we asked him, "Come on, let's just go inside and let's see how that train is." He said, "No, you cannot go inside a train without a ticket." We didn't say anything. We took him inside, and we sat there, and we just traveled from our home to New York in SLR, he was smiling ear to ear the entire time. That was the Christmas gift that we gave him that year. And that was the first ever Christmas gift that we ever did in our house. So we did have tree before that. So I do have that memory, but this is the memory that stuck with me whenever I think of the first Christmas that I celebrate. So from that time, like that Christmas onward, it became our tradition that we spend time for the experiences. Of
Mm,
course, kids love gifts. We definitely do gifts in this house, but it's only one gift, and we do it like we do teams every year. Now,
mm,
this year, me and my daughter are a team, and we are going to bring gifts for my son and my husband, and they are going to bring gifts for us, and we'll definitely exchange those. But apart from that, we always make sure that we do something together as a family, as an experience, and that has become our tradition. That is our always Christmas morning tradition. So one year we went for this SLR. The other year, I still remember my daughter. That time she was young, but she really loved the butterflies and all the animals. And now in December, it's all cold, right? You really cannot go there. But the other day there was an indoor. It's not a zoo; it's an indoor area where there are a lot of animals and where you can go. So we went there on the Christmas morning last to last year, and she was so happy. She was like continuously smiling. She was so small, she was tiny, but she was so happy to see all those. So that's our tradition, and it's always surprise for kids. Like we never tell them before. It always a surprise on the Christmas morning. So it's definitely fun.
yeah, that sounds so much fun that you always do something different and you've incorporated such a tradition with your family.
Yes.
Taking some American tradition and making it kind of your own. Have you incorporated like Santa Claus or the Elf on the Shelf or what other traditions have you incorporated that
Yes,
American
we
traditions?
Yes, we definitely do Elf on the Shelf. They are very naughty, and just today they were like they completely destroyed my living room. They just the toilet paper rolls. It was everywhere. I said, no, this year toilet papers are really precious. You cannot do that. But yes,
Yeah.
the Elf on the Shelf is a really a fun thing for kids, and our elf names Buddy. So he do mischievous things. So we definitely incorporate Elf on the Shelf. We do a lot of baking. That's
Mm,
one thing that we love to do in this house. So we bake a lot of cookies, the sugar cookies, butter cookies, especially the mint chips cookies that my kids love. Lot of cakes that we bake. We always have like we gather as a family. See, here in US, I don't have any immediate family with us,
mm-hmm.
but whatever friends that we have, so those friends are our family. It's like
Mm-hmm.
we always hold on to each other like we are family. We are always there for anything that they need, even anything that we need. I think friends are family when you live away from your own immediate family. So definitely we celebrate it together. Secret Santa is what we always do every year. We get together, we do potlucks, we and always the cakes is always my department because I always love to bake. That's something I really enjoy. To tell you a secret, I don't like cooking that much. After regular cooking, but baking is one thing that I enjoy. So we do a lot of baking in this house.
Yeah, that sounds so great. They're out in Denmark. I'm because I had my children here in Denmark, so I never had the experience having Christmas in the U.S. except for visiting. It's so different visiting. But here in Denmark, they do the same thing as the elf, but they call it a nisse, and it's not an actual elf; it's a door. The
Oh,
door you put in the corner of your house, and it has like a post box, it has shoes, it has different things that goes with it. So here it's a saying that the elf moved in and can hear you.
oh,
So and it does mischievous things around the house, but you never see it. So
Okay.
it doesn't have like the elf on the shelf. It's always like staring at you.
Yes.
This one is like you don't know where it's at. It's
Oh,
it's living in your house. So that's the way that they do it here. And I was like, oh, I think I like it that way better because it's not like a creepy elf looking at you.
I know. It's those days are fun, but it's definitely a lot of work, a lot of creative thinking to get
Yeah,
them
you
do a
just
lot
made
of
me
things.
think I didn't do one for tonight, and my kids are sleeping, and I gotta do one.
I know. It's just another work, but it's fun. Not just for them, it's fun for us as well, right?
Yeah.
And it's all about traditions. I think if you keep on doing one thing, pick one thing and keep on doing for years, that's what make it tradition, and that's what we want to pass it on to our kids, right? When we, especially when we live abroad, when we are away from our roots, away from our country, that's what we want to pass on to them. Like if they speak our language,
Hmm.
or if they understand that language, or if they understand the culture that we have come from, or so definitely we want them to adapt, like at least to understand it, right? So the reverse way, they also would want us to understand the culture that they are living in, right? We are in US right now. So as long, even if I expect them to understand my culture, my Indian roots, I also want to understand the culture that we are currently living in. Because truly speaking, we all are global citizens these days. You cannot be restricting yourself to one certain culture. Of course, you
Hmm.
should have knowledge of your own roots. You should respect those roots, but it should not happen that you are so much rigid that you are stuck to those roots and you are just not adapting to the
Yeah.
new changes that are happening. Right? If you start looking good into things, you will always find good things. So
Yeah.
that's what my perspective is. I love celebrating, and one thing that I always try to understand is that this is all about family time. Take
Hmm.
any celebration, take any festival. The main reason behind that is always being with the loved ones, being with the people that you love the most, being with your kids, your family, your friends, right? It's all always about the bonding time.
Yeah.
That's what all the festivals really teach us.
Yeah, definitely. And in India, are they starting to celebrate Christmas more and more, or is it still
Yes.
like a more of a
Mm.
Western
No, no.
holiday?
Now there is a lot of Christmas activities happen. I still remember last year we were in India during the Christmas time,
Yeah.
and we celebrated in a grand scale. Like we entire family, we all were together that time. We were vacationing at some place, and we celebrated it just like here. So we do celebrate it in India as well now.
Okay.
But
Does your family, like your family that doesn't really celebrate it, was surprised maybe that you were they surprised that you wanted to celebrate it there? The ones that are not really into Christmas?
right, maybe, but frankly, Indians are Indian people. One thing I can tell you about Indian people, they love celebrations.
Okay.
We
I've
have
been to
at
an Indian
least,
wedding. I know.
yes, we love elaborate celebrations. We have at least 3 to 4 festivals every month.
Hmm.
So, and those are big festivals. I'm not talking about some small 1 day festival. So we love to celebrate. So if you ask someone to celebrate one more, I don't think there will be any resistance. But yes, they were a little bit surprised. They were, I won't say shocked, but they definitely were supportive. I never faced any issue where anybody was conservative or saying no, you cannot celebrate it, because ultimately when you give a message that this is for being with you only, this is for being with my family, being celebrating my joy, it is a festival of joy, right? So there was no objection or anything of that kind.
Okay, so that's good that you were able to celebrate it in India, and it's also Christmas is getting bigger there, and more and more Indians are actually celebrating it. Have you noticed that a lot of Indians that moved from India to the US have taken on the tradition more, or kind of no? that's not what we want to celebrate in December.
No, I don't think so because whatever culture, like whatever friends that I have seen each and everybody basically accept this nice tradition with open arms. I have
Mm-hmm.
never seen anyone who is saying, "No, I won't celebrate it." And as I was telling you, the main reason is Indian people love any kind of celebration. We absolutely love all the festivities, all this thing. So it's definitely, I don't think there is any hesitation. The only thing that I noticed is there is somewhat merging of multiple festivals into this
Mm-hmm.
Christmas because Christmas comes in December and we have a huge festival called Diwali in
Mm-hmm.
November or October end. It depends on the Indian calendar that we
Mm-hmm.
have. So what happens? It is called a festival of lights,
Mm-hmm.
and we always decorate our house with a lot of lights. We again gather together, we cook lot of dishes, there are a lot of snacks that are being prepared. So nowadays, especially as I have seen in my house as well, when we were decorating our tree, Christmas tree, that time I used the same lights that we
Mm-hmm.
had for Diwali festival, and my daughter kept on calling that tree as a Diwali tree. I was telling her it's not Diwali tree, it's a Christmas tree. So she has her own quirks and she just names anything that she wants to. So, but that's how the celebrations are getting merged, into. But I love this concept. I love this idea because it's all about acceptance. It's all about no two people can be same, right? But that doesn't mean you cannot respect someone else's opinion, someone
Yeah.
else's traditions. So I love this. I absolutely love this festival. Like it brings people together.
Yeah.
So I like this concept actually, even a Diwali tree.
Yeah. It's your own decoration now. You can just call it Diwali
Yeah,
tree. That's fine. Well,
I
thank
know.
you so much for sharing your traditions in India and how you just made it your own tradition with your family in the US,
Yeah,
and discovered and making it your own and loving it. I think it, and I could really see that you really like
yeah,
it, and also hear it because you get super excited about talking about Christmas, and it's about
yeah.
family and surprising your kids with train rides and every year. What's gonna be this year?
This year we are gonna take because we cannot go
Oh yeah,
outside
that's
anywhere
true.
now, right? It's not we cannot take them basically into any public places this year.
Mm-hmm.
So this year actually we are gonna. My son is really into. I'm just speaking in low volume because he
Yeah.
might be hearing. He loves Harry Potter. He has read all the books. So this year we are planning to do a Harry Potter marathon on the Christmas morning.
Oh.
So we thought because he hasn't seen any movies, he read the books. I promised him like once you finish the books, we'll see the movies. Otherwise, the books you will like once you see the movie, the fun of books is ruined kind of.
Yeah.
So I wanted him to read all the books, and he really read them. So he's been bugging like, when are we going to see the Harry Potter? And I have been saving that for the Christmas morning. So definitely, right after we open all our presents and have, if it's white Christmas, after having the hot cocoa and everything, we'll definitely have the Harry Potter marathon this Christmas morning.
Oh, that's gonna be good because I also love Harry Potter.
Me
So
too.
it's really, really good. That's
Yeah,
gonna be a good Christmas day.
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your Christmas and what you're gonna do for your surprise. I hope your son didn't hear.
Yes, I hope so.
Yeah, and for the listeners, thank you for coming back and checking out what was for today. If you are wondering what country is going to be for day 18, you'll have to come back tomorrow. Until tomorrow, everyone. Bye.
Yeah, bye, and wish you a happy, happy Merry Christmas.
Oh, thank you.